Anaga here again, and today we are going to study about nitrogen fixation. Okay, yes. So I'll be basically teaching you for the BSc first year level. Okay, but yes, in general, people, anyone who is interested in learning about nitrogen fixation, we will be talking it from the very basics. We'll be starting. Okay, so without any delay, we'll just start. Okay, so shuru kare. Yes. First is I have already written it over here. Biological nitrogen fixation. Yes, when you're talking about biological nitrogen fixation, what is it? What is it, or what's the basically when you're saying this is a phone. Okay, this is a phone. You basically need to know what is a phone, right? So before saying that, okay, this is nitrogen fixation, you can see it like this. These are the processes. That is this thing. Before that, who are you? That's something that is very important. So what is this nitrogen fixation? Yes, let's get into that. Okay, this is very simple. But nitrogen fixation can be simply said as it is the basically reduction of the atmospheric nitrogen to nitrogen compounds, which is basically ammonia over here, with the help of some people. Okay, some microorganisms which is found in the soil. Yes, that is basically it, the reduction of atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia, which is a nitrogen compound. With the help of what, mere bacha? With the help of some microorganisms. Okay, microorganisms is called as fixation, right? Nitrogen fixation, and the nitrogen fixation is basically nitrogen reduction. You're reducing nitrogen. Why you say reduction? Very basics. Okay, N2 is basically atmospheric nitrogen and NH3 is ammonia, right? So you said from here, when I converted to here, I have used the word reduction. By reduction, you might know when there is addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen, you say it as what, mera bacha? You are saying it as reduction. Over here, is there any oxygens? No. Is there any oxygens over here? No. On the basis of that, we can't say whether it's reduction or oxidation. But over here, if you're looking, there is absolutely no hydrogen. But over here, if you're looking, there are three hydrogens. So there is an addition of three hydrogen ions which has happened over here, hence it is reduced. Okay, yes. Hmm, that's it. So yes, that's the reason basically why you have actually what to say, you have called it as reduction. That's why basically you say reduction of atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia, we say. Yes, that's why it is reduction. Or you can simply say it as conversion. Conversion is also correct, but reduction is much more suitable. That's a correct word. Okay, yes. So yes, now nitrogen fixation, we are talking about biology. Come on, having just one word and two very simple word, nitrogen fixation, that's not going to work out. There are different words to make it difficult for you. What do you think? Biology simple? It is indeed simple. Yes. What is basically nitrogen fixation? Nitrogen reduction is also called as what? Nitrogen fixation, which we already said, and we said it's a easy peasy hai. तो मतलब अलग word ढूंढ लो, and we say diazotrophy. You say diazotrophy, I ask what? I say diazotrophy. Wait, oh my god, what is it? It is diazotrophy. Okay, you give a trophy for converting ammonia, sorry, atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia. When it is given, you give two diazotrophy. Okay, trophy you give. Azo is basically where that is a word that is basically used whenever nitrogen is there. Okay. Hmm. Okay. You maybe say it as die as a trophy. Two nitrogens are there, but any which ways you can say it is a trophy. You are giving a process of the same trophy. It's very easy to remember. When you make clues for such things, now it gets much more complex. I'm like, what is it? I'll just way better remember it as it as it is. What is it? It is diisotrophy. Yes. So let's get into it. And next parts. Okay. Yes. And The process this diisotrophy is basically reduction of the process of nitrogen reduction. The process of nitrogen reduction is also called as nitrogen fixation or diisotrophy. Yes, and something might be helping in doing these things. You might know that in every part of our body, if you're taking, there's always an enzyme which is there, which is always helping in making the things happen, because our body is able, actually very very able to perform all the functions, but it might be a little bit slow. So you are very talented to study. It's just like you're very very talented to study, you are just a little bit lazy. So what happens, your mama comes with a stick or a chapel and throws it at you or beats at you. What will happen? You get scared, you you get frustrated and say, I'll be back in 1 hour and I need everything. Okay, I'll be asking if one word goes wrong. If one word goes wrong, na, we'll see that. So when you say that, you're like, oh my god, biological nitrogen fixation. Yes, yes, what is it? Yeah, you'll be in a hurry, buddy, right? And you'll be studying very fast. That is what but basically, is mama teaching you something over here? Is mama teaching you nitrogen fixation? Absolutely no. She just came and she just went. That's basically the enzyme out there. The reactions are same. The reactions and the products are gonna be same itself. But what happens? एक धप्पड़ और beating देने के लिए कौन आते हैं? Enzyme आ जाते हैं, so that you increase the thing fast. So there is almost every reactions when you say it, there is always an enzyme which is there. Okay. Over here also there's an enzyme that gives a ik धप्पड़. एक पटका देते हैं so that you can move a little bit faster. Okay, that beating देने वाले एंजाइम को क्या कहते हैं? We say that nitrogenase. We say what, my बच्चा? It is nitrogenase. Nitrogenase. Okay, this A's, whenever this A's comes, you can understand that is an enzyme out there, है ना? It's an enzyme. Yes. 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 What to say next? And this thing, that this is the enzyme used. Enzyme is nitrogenase, and we said some soil-borne microorganisms. There are words for, and you reduce this micro. Yes. Hmm. And the reduction of atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia is handled by some microorganisms are known as what nitrogen fixers. If the process is nitrogen fixation, the ones who are fixing it would be called as what? Nitrogen fixers. Very simple. But will we end it over there? No, we have a different word for it, that is diazotrops. Hmm. Azo Tropes. Don't get confused with diisotropes and diisotropy. The process is diisotropy, and the nitrogen fixers are basically diisotropes, right? Yes, and when you're talking about diisotropes, this is what we talked about nitrogen fixation till, yeah. Now the story of nitrogen fixation, how does the nitrogen fixation happen, is controlled by by a main character, which is called as diisotropes. We'll be seeing this whole story कैसे नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेशन हो जाते हैं इन द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ डाइसोट्रॉप्स, इन द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ नाइट्रोजन फिक्सेस, बिकॉज क्यों? दैट्स द वन हु इज डूइंग द काम, दैट इज द वन हु इज गोना टेक यू टू द टूर, है ना? देखो, हाउस टूर जब आप देखते हैं, किसकी पर्सपेक्टिव से आप देखते हैं? जो दिखा रही है वैसे ही है, ये काम करने वाली इंसान है तो उसके पर्सपेक्टिव से ही देखेंगे ना. Yes, very good. So the diazotrops, we're talking about the diazotrops. Diazotrops are of two types, can be broadly divided into two types. What are they? Symbiotic diazotrops, and over here free living diazotrops, right? Or non symbiotic, you can write non symbiotic diazotrops. So while talking about non-symbiotic diazotrops, there's a person called as Wagering, who has actually found out a free living which is non-symbiotic diazotrops, which is called as Azectobacter. Azectobacter in 1905 it was, okay. Yes, his name is Wagering, but he has actually discovered Azectobacter, and we have another what to say. Hmm, non-symbiotic diazotrops called as Bajerinka. Okay, there are two different. Bajering is a person and Bajerinka is another micro nitrogen fixer or diazotrop, and there is the microorganism or free living diazotrop found by Bajering is Azectobacter. Okay, it's Azectobacter. Very complex. If you can remember, you can remember. Okay, yes. You can remember, obviously, it's not that big task. Right. Cool. So then we said these diazotrops are of two types. What are they? Symbiotic and non-symbiotic diazotrops. Okay, talking about the first one, which is symbiotic diazotrops. Symbiotic diazo, and what is the nitrogen fixation done by symbiotic diazotrops called as symbiotic diazotrophy, it would be called as, okay. फिलहाल के लिए I'll write very much more simpler one, which is symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Okay, it is the same thing. Yes. Yes. So we are going to talk about symbiotic nitrogen fixation. What is symbiotic nitrogen fixation? We have said what is nitrogen fixation. What is it? It is basically the reduction of atmospheric nitrogen to atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia with the help of a soil-borne microorganisms. That is what a normal nitrogen fixation is. When you say symbiotic nitrogen fixation, we are specifying whom? We are specifying the microorganisms. So think what can be the statement that I am about to say. Think. I'll give you 1 second. Okay, people who want to comment can please go ahead. I really appreciate it. Okay. Yes. You guys think. Okay. Yes. Have you thought? Okay. People who have found the answer, very good. जिसको ना मिला है, it's okay. I'm here for that. We're gonna any which ways talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, for people who have already known, okay, people who didn't get it or are a little bit confused, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. We're gonna say it right now, and you're gonna get it. Okay, yes. So yes, symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Symbiotic nitrogen fixation होता क्या है यार? It is basically nitrogen fixation. It is nitrogen reduction. By whom? By symbiotic microorganisms. Yes, that is basically called as symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Bus. That's it. Nitrogen reduction or fixation by symbiotic microorganisms are called as symbiotic nitrogen fixation. Okay, इसमें होता क्या है? There are some microorganisms. There are some kind of microorganisms that establish a symbiotic relationship, a give and take relationship के जैसे they come and live in my body. Imagine they come and live in my body, and my body has absolutely no harm. मुझे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है, आप रहो या ना रहो, इट्स ओके. आप रहो ना रहो नहीं है, आप रहेंगे तो मुझे कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. इट्स एब्सोल्युटली फाइन फॉर मी, एंड यस, I'm happy to have you. In fact, that kind of symbiotic, mutualistic relationship and all, right? Mutualistic क्या हो जाता है? इट्स अ म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग बोलते हैं ना, दोनों के साइड से अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, एक एक सारी चीजें कॉम्प्रोमाइज करते जा रही है, दूसरे ऐसे ही मजे में जा रही है, दैट इज म्यूचुअल रिलेशनशिप. नो नो नो, दैट इज नॉट. Two people are there involved in it, and two people understand and cooperate in a way that, है ना, they support each other. That is basically mutualistic relationship. It's not just does not Oh my god, I forgot the statement. Okay, that is not only working for humans, that also works for plants also. Okay, that kind of mutualistic relationship is basically symbiotic. Symbiotic, that's exactly what we meant by saying symbiotic. Okay, yes. So what happens? Some microorganisms establish symbiotic associations with whom? The plant roots. किसके साथ बनाते हैं? Plants की किस बात से? Root say, okay, yes. For why to do nitrogen fixation? There are some qualities of the symbiotic organisms. They cannot do, they are very much able to do nitrogen fixation. Okay, they're very very capable to do nitrogen fixation. But जब वो alone है, you know, they just go on singing I am so lonely, and they won't do nitrogen fixation, and they don't do anything else, है ना, ऐसे चुप कर बैठिए, मैं नहीं करूंगा, जब तक प्लांट की रूट ना मिले मैं कुछ नहीं करने वाले, ऐसे ही ना गमन से वो बैठेंगे फुल एटीट्यूड से, छोटे बच्चे के जैसे. सो यू नो, yes, that is basically it. Such microorganisms are called as symbiotic nitrogen fixers, or yes, whoever establishes the what to say symbiotic association with the plant roots for what, mere bachcha, for nitrogen fixation is called as symbiotic nitrogen fixers or symbiotic diazotropes. It's not trophy, diazotropes, because why we are talking about the microorganism over here and not the process. Okay, yes. Hmm. Yes, very good. So, there are two types. You can see two scenarios in case of symbiotic association. Some where there is a nodule formation. Okay, nodule formation is basically, you can see nodules like this. You know, when you're taking, if this is a root, in the root hair you will get nodule, like a goal structure, like when you get pimples, you know, when you get pimples out there or something of that sort, you will be having a, it's just a projection, and you can, when you just look it like this itself, you can see that projections. That is basically आपकी nodule. Okay, yes, आपकी nodule, it's a projection. If like this, if the skin is going like this before, now what happens, it just becomes as, and this is out there your nodule, this is your nodule out there. Okay, yes, that's your nodule out there. Oh, it's actually pretty good in the you know what to say, video. Okay, yeah, also it's good. Yeah, also it's good. Yeah, yeah. So basically this is, and this is your nodule, and this is your root hair. It's seen in the root hair, okay? Not in the primary roots, secondary roots and all. You won't see it. You will see in the root hair. Okay, yes. Cool. So, I just went to some other world and came. Okay, never mind it. Okay, yes. So we are talking about that during symbiotic associations. There are two cases. First case is that just too far. Okay, I guess now it's a little better. Yes. Okay. So there are two kind of situations where in symbiotic associations, what happens? This nodule formation out there. This nodule formation happens and doesn't happen. If this nodule formation basically happens, some diazotropes induces the nodule development, and such kind of symbiosis. What do you call that? You call it as rhizocoinosis. What do you call it as? This, if this is seen in your root hair, then this symbiosis. is called rhizocoinosis. Okay, so rhizocoinosis. It is rhizocoinosis, and examples of this thing is Frankia and Rhizobium. Okay, examples are Frankia and Rhizobium. Cool. So, and there are some others. Some symbiotic diazotrops do not form any, nodule development. There are many examples for that. Hmm. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Actually, sorry, Bejarenka is actually what? Bejarenka is a symbiotic, diazotrop, symbiotic diazotrop, but it's just that they don't show nodule formation. I was wrong over there. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, yes. So if symbiotic nitrogen fix diazotrops, symbiotic diazotrops do not show any nodule formation, do not show any nodule formation in the host cell. Then there's no particular name and all. There are two types. First is they show nodule formation, then it is called as isocoinosis, such symbiosis, and the other is very simple. They don't show it and all. They have symbiotic relation. I have a relationship with you, but it doesn't mean that I'm gonna show it off with somebody. That those are those kind of people, and others are showing off kind of people. So yes. So example of not showing so much of people is Beijeringia. First is Beijeringia, Azospirillum, Azectobacter paspali. What is it? Azectobacter paspali. Okay. First is Azospirillum. First is Azospirillum. Then it is Azectobacter Pascali, and Beijeringia. Okay, these are the ones that show symbiotic association, but no nodule formation happens, right? Yes. And where do you find these people? Azospirillum species are found in association with many roots of many monocots and dicots plants. This can be found in monocots and dicots, and they can be found in monocots and dicots. All the ones that form symbiotic associations have association with the roots. Okay, roots के साथ बनाते हैं, किसी और के साथ नहीं बनाता है, ठीक है? Yes, roots के साथ बनाते हैं. Azospirillum की बात करते हैं. Azospirillum forms association with a lot of with the roots of many monocots and dicots they form. Okay, then coming to Beijeringia. Beijeringia is seen on the roots of sugarcane. बेजरंगे की बात करते हैं तो शुगर केन में आपको बहुत अच्छे से दिखता है. Okay, sugar cane and Azectobacter paspali is seen first in Paspalium notatum. It can be seen in Paspalium notatum, then wheat, corn, and sorghum. Paspalium notatum, it can be seen in Paspalium notatum, wheat, corn, and sorghum. Okay, yes. So let's repeat it again. As azospirillum is seen in many roots. Can be seen in roots of and many roots. Is seen in roots of many monocots and dicots. And then coming to Beijeringa. Beijeringa is found in found in the roots of sugarcane. And then talking about paspali. It can be seen in the roots of Paspalium notatum, wheat, corn, and sorghum. Yes, by here we have talked about two things. First is nitrogen fixation, and second is symbiotic nitrogen fixation. ये दोनों की बात हुई है आपका, है ना? डिटेल में नहीं हुआ है, बट बेसिकली रफ में हुआ था. Now we are gonna talk about, next we are gonna talk about root nodulation की बात हो जाएंगे. Then the mechanism of symbiotic nitrogen fixation. I said this in very rough, कैसे हो जाते हैं and all. Now detail में we will be going in deep. Okay, कैसे हो जाते हैं, कैसे नहीं हो जाते, कैसे nodule formation हो जाते हैं. How does nitrogen fixation happen? Basically वो nitrogenase enzyme के बारे में and all we said ना. So what is the actual function, वो कैसे काम करते हैं, उसका structure कैसा है, उसमें क्या क्या चीज है, उसको कोई limitations है कि नहीं, and all those things, and it's pretty interesting. Okay, I'll make it very very interesting for you. It's a very interesting chapter. Let me tell you, it's a very very interesting chapter. ऐसे बैठ कर सुनने के लिए ना बहुत अच्छा चैप्टर है ये. Yes, पढ़ने के लिए भी बहुत अच्छी है. ऐसा नहीं है सिर्फ सुनने के लिए अच्छी है, क्योंकि yes, oh my god, I'm sweating. Okay. So now we are basically gonna talk about what? We are gonna talk about root nodulation. Okay. Any doubts still here? If you guys have any doubt, okay, please feel free to comment down below. If it is possible from my side, if I know the answer, I'll be surely replying back. Okay. Yes.